So I'm going to begin class bringing up the Alex Rodriguez incident over the summer. I think that the kids can really connect to that being a big moral issue. Just asking them what they think about it, if they think it's fair, if they believe he should be held, against his contract for using illegal drugs, and I'll kind of roll that into the moral conversation. And then I'm going to start by talking about what it means to be moral to the students. I want to know what they think moral means. I'm sure they have several different definitions. So once they talk about what they think is moral, after a few minutes, they're going to go into a couple groups. They're going to share their ideas with each other, groups of 4 to 6 probably, so there'll be about 4 groups in class, just discussing with each other what they think moral is. And then I'm going to ask them to kind of share that with the class, and we'll have a discussion about what makes something moral. We'll talk about some of the PowerPoint slides and Haidt's intuitive ethics. And then I'm going to have the kids kind of come up with what they think a moral situation would be, maybe come up with a situation that they can apply in school that is a moral situation, and they can kind of discuss what makes it a moral situation, if they all agree that it's a moral situation. And then once again, we'll kind of open it up to the class and have a class discussion about that. Then I'm going to refer them to a few PowerPoint slides, just again from the webinar from Lesson 1, Haidt's intuitive ethics, the big picture, things like that. And then I will keep them in their groups and give them the analysis moral awareness protocol with a little synopsis about a student who's very bright, and her classmate approaches her wanting to know what the test questions were on a test, which unfortunately does happen often at the school. So hopefully they've all kind of come across that situation, and they can talk about what kind of problems or issues are present with that scenario in the situation. Then they can talk about if they are moral values or ethics present in the situation, what they think in terms of are the Haidt's 5 intuitive ethics, are they present, the care, the fairness, the loyalty, sanctity, authority, things like that. They're going to be filling this out as they go, and then they're going to state the problem, how the problem came about, who's involved in the problem, who are the people that could be affected by it, and basically a summary of kind of what we talked about, what makes something moral, what's a moral situation, and I'm kind of hoping that they can walk away from Lesson 1.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kumar. If you could please contact Raymeka at extension 444. Ms. Kumar,
and then from there we can kind of go into what they can do once they are confronted with a moral situation in the future, going into Lesson 2.
Okay, so I'm going to be working on Lesson 2, which has to do with what's right and developing students' moral reasoning and judgment. So basically, when students are in a situation where there are multiple options, multiple things to decide, how do they know what is the right decision? So the first thing I'm going to do with my students is they will individually read a scenario from the EDMA. So the scenario is this. I'll just read it from the paper. Jane is a student in the 10th grade and has always been a top student. She plays sports and is involved in several extracurricular activities. Jane has never been in any real trouble and is focused on her goal to be accepted into a top university and to eventually go to law school. This winter, in the middle of Jane's basketball season, Jane's grandmother suffered a stroke. Jane has been traveling out of state with her family every weekend to visit with her grandmother and has very little time or energy to complete her schoolwork. While going through a box of papers, Jane finds an English paper her older sister wrote on The Catcher in the Rye. Her sister received an A on this paper, and Jane knows she will have to complete a similar assignment for her English class in a few weeks. Since Jane has been so busy and overwhelmed, her decision she has to make is, should she just simply retype the paper and submit it as her own, or should she go through the work and the effort of writing her own paper? So two options for her right there. So first, like I said before, students will read this individually, and then they will just jot down their initial reaction. What if they were in Jane's situation, what would they do? And then students are going to get into groups of 4 to 6 and share their decisions with one another in the group and kind of talk about why they decided one versus the other. Then as an entire class, we're going to just go over the 3 different reasons people make ethical decisions. Personal, obviously, meaning that it's in their best interest. Conventional, it's the typical, what a large group would do. Or principled, it's the right thing to do, the moral or ethical thing to do. So after we have that conversation, the groups are going to convene again and then decide what they truly think is the principled decision. And then each group is going to go around and present what they find to be the principled decision and explain why. And hopefully by the end, this should be repetitive and that students are all coming up with